Introduction. North America is a large area of land. It contains many different climates and landscapes. Most of Mexico and the southwestern United States is hot and dry. Other areas, including the northeastern states and parts of Canada, are cool and wet. Some areas have large mountain ranges, like the Rocky Mountains in the west. Others have flat, rolling plains, like the Midwest. Snakes can be found in just about all of these places. Snakes live in forests, canyons, and deserts. One might even be living in your own backyard. Most snakes don't do well in the cold. In fact, the hardy garter snake is the only serpent that can survive in Alaska. North America has 5 snake families. 2 of these families are poisonous and 3 are not. Meet the 5 families. As you read this book, you will get to know them a lot better. At the top in blue, under the picture on page 3, it says, there are about 2,700 kinds of snakes in the world. Only about 300 are poisonous. Below the picture, the table says the 5 families: blind snakes, non-poisonous; boas, non-poisonous; colubrids, non-poisonous; coral snakes, poisonous; pit vipers, poisonous. Chapter 1. Non-poisonous snakes. Most of the snakes living in North America are not poisonous. They use other methods to kill their prey and defend themselves. Blind snakes and boas live mostly in warm climates. Colubrids can be found all over North America, except in very cold places. Sometimes it's hard to tell a blind snake from an earthworm. These smelly little snakes have found a clever way to protect themselves and keep warm. They burrow into holes in the ground. In blue, it reads, a blind snake has a powerful snout to burrow into the ground. The snout works like a shovel. At the top of page 5, the eyes of most blind snakes are covered with scales. Some have no eyes at all. When an enemy comes along, these snakes hurry into a hole or pretend they are dead. They also produce a terrible smell that sends ants and other animals scurrying away. Blind snakes use their sense of smell to find worms, termites, and ants to eat. This is very helpful to humans because termites and ants can do a great deal of damage. Eastern screech owls even use blind snakes as their assistants. They pick up the little snakes and carry them to their nests. The blind snakes protect the owl's babies by eating harmful insects. At the top of the page, under the picture of the ants, in blue, it reads, blind snakes help get rid of these destructive ants. In the bottom corner of page 5, snake facts. Snakes are reptiles. Snakes don't have legs. Snakes slither on their stomachs. In blue, under the picture, it says, rosy boas live in the western United States. Boas are another non-poisonous snake family. Boas are not poisonous, but they can be very dangerous. Boas are constrictor snakes. They squeeze their victim until it cannot breathe. Like many snakes, boas smell with their tongues. They will stay very still and wait until they sniff a frog, rat, bird, or lizard. Then they lunge forward and strike. The boa bites with its teeth, wraps itself around its prey, and squeezes until the creature can no longer breathe. Like other snakes, boas swallow their prey whole. There are almost 100 different species of boas in the world, but there are only 2 kinds of boas in North America. Both the rosy boa and the rubber boa live in the western United States, where the air is warm and dry. They can be found in trees, under rocks, and in deserts. Boas are not interested in people. They will not attack humans unless they are pestered or stepped on. They are quiet and calm, and they move quite slowly. They are one of the few snake families that can slither in a straight line. All snakes molt. All snakes molt or shed their skins. Before molting begins, the snake hides away. Soon its body becomes wet. The old skin begins to turn inside out as the snake slithers out. Most adult snakes shed their skins 2 to 5 times a year. Most of the snakes in North America belong to the colubrid family. Colubrid snakes live on land, underground, in water, and in trees. Colubrids come in all sizes. They have big heads and big stomachs. Most are medium-sized and harmless to humans. Some people call this snake family the garbage pail. That's because snakes that don't fit anywhere else are called colubrids. Many of these snakes are common in North America. Perhaps you have seen a garter snake, a rat snake, a rainbow snake, a brown snake, or a green snake. Or perhaps you know someone who keeps a harmless colubrid as a pet in a cardboard box. The bull snake. People often confuse the bull snake with a poisonous rattlesnake because both make a hissing sound before they strike. But the rattlesnake injects poison while the bull snake wraps itself around its victim and squeezes. On page 9, it shows the king snake, garter snake, corn snake. In blue under the picture, it reads, "If you ever see a bunch of snakes with 3 stripes gathered together on a freezing weekday, they are probably garter snakes." Garter snakes are found all over North America, but these little snakes can be easy to miss. Garter snakes are great at hiding. They blend into their background very well. This blending in is called camouflage. Garter snakes do not grow to be very large. They are usually no more than 3 feet, 91 centimeters, long, and are very thin. Garter snakes can survive in very cold places. Their small size makes it easy for them to heat up and cool down quickly. In the winter, garter snakes hibernate. Sometimes hundreds of these snakes huddle together to stay warm. Another colubrid is the rat snake. Have you ever wondered how a snake gets its name? Rat snakes are named after their favorite food, rats. These snakes also prey on rabbits and birds. Most rat snakes are great tree climbers. Their flat bellies help them hang on as they slither up the branches. Snake facts: snakes have forked tongues. Snakes are covered with scales. Snakes have no eyelids. Their eyes are always open. In blue on page 11, it reads, "There are more than 50 kinds of rat snakes." Chapter 2, Poisonous Snakes. Venom is poison. Poisonous snakes make venom in glands under their eyes. When these snakes spot prey, they grab it with their teeth. Then they inject the venom from the glands through 2 hollow fangs. The venom poisons the prey. There are 2 kinds of poisonous snakes in the United States, coral snakes and pit vipers. The coral snake is beautiful. It is also the 8th most deadly snake in the world. Coral snakes have black, red, and yellow rings around their bodies. You can recognize a coral snake if a red ring is next to a yellow ring. At the bottom, it says, coral snake venom. The venom of a coral snake takes longer to work than the venom of any other snakes, but it is extremely dangerous. Any snake bite calls for immediate attention. Call for help and don't apologize. Call an ambulance, get to a hospital. Page 13, in blue at the top, it reads, "Most coral snakes live in the southwestern United States." This colorful snake can be found in deserts, wooded areas, and swamps. It spends most of its day hiding and resting. It searches for food at night. When the weather is cooler, like rattlesnakes, the coral snake shakes its tail when it is bothered. Antivenin. Poisonous snake bites are sometimes treated with shots of antivenin. To make antivenin, venom is collected from a snake. Shots of this venom are then given to a horse. The shots are small, so they do not harm the horse. The horse's blood is used to make antivenin. Chapter 3, Stripes, Blotches, and Cover-Ups. There are many kinds of snakes in North America, and each one adapts in its own way in order to survive. How snakes look depends a lot on where they live. Cold weather snakes are different from snakes that live in hot canyons. Desert snakes are different from snakes that live in forests. North American snakes come in many colors and patterns. There are even snakes with only one color. Others are covered with many colors. Some have diamond-shaped patterns or blotches. Some snakes have bands or rings. In blue, it reads, "These close-ups show off the snake's fascinating patterns." The top of 17. Many snakes change patterns as they grow older. The black rat snake starts out as a gray snake with dark blotches. As it ages, it becomes an all-black snake. The yellow corn snake is the color of one of its favorite hiding places, a cornfield. Have you ever wondered why snakes have such different patterns? Snakes need to protect themselves from predators like eagles. Many snakes depend on camouflage. They blend into the background, and backgrounds can be very different. Desert snakes may be brown and tan to match the rocks and sand. Snakes that live in the woods may be green and brown to match the trees. The eastern smooth earth snake, which lives in the woods, has different coloring from the western coral snake, which lives in the desert. Snake facts up at the top. Snakes can't hear. Snakes can't move backward. Snakes swallow their food whole. Conclusion. Snakes should be treated with genuine respect, yet many people fear them. The truth is, some snakes help people. They keep the world from being overrun with rats, termites, ants, and other pests. Although some snakes are poisonous, most are not. And most poisonous snakes will not bother you unless you bother them. But you can never be sure. It is difficult to tell a poisonous snake from a non-poisonous one. It is safest not to touch snakes. In the picture, it reads rough green snake.